Our topic today is going to be on maintaining balance and our sanity when life gets really busy. Tell me a little bit about your coaching experience. How did you even get into coaching? What drew you into that?
How I got into coaching is really interesting story because I used to work as a respiratory therapist in hospitals. So I used to work for companies like Kaiser and Sutter, and I worked as a respiratory therapist working with like asthmatics, COPD patients, patients that couldn't breathe, babies coming out of like neonatal care that needed more of a higher level. And so I started to see around me a lot of fatigue with nurses, physicians, fellow colleagues. And I know they had a thing called EAP, right? Employee assistance programs, but it wasn't there on the front lines. And I said, something different needs to change here in order to really serve healthcare workers on the front lines. And so I saw, as I saw, sought the Lord out and what I needed to do about it, I actually went back to school at Western Seminary to get my marriage and family therapy degree, so that I can actually come back and work with not just healthcare workers, but people in general. But that's where it started. And of course, going through school, I realized in school, if you're familiar with the Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the other. I realized as a therapist, I didn't have, I want to say the therapist mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what a coaching was until working with a mentor, a retired Navy chaplain. I had to do 30 hours of my own personal therapy during my college degree, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And he said, "Steve, I see coaching in you." I'm like, "What? I don't even know what that is." Just stick with me. I'll mentor you through it.
Maybe it's that whistle around your neck.
But he saw it in me, and it became natural.
That's
As a therapist, I had to think about, what am I going to say? Which theory am I using? I felt nervous in the therapist chair. As a coach, I just felt free flow from the spirit. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to overreact. I just show up, and it was natural. And my mentor saw it in me. And from there, after I graduated, I pivoted. I was going to try to do both, therapy and coaching, but coaching became really the path that God's called me to. And for me, I couldn't have dreamt what the path that I was going to be on now, but it's the best thing that's happened because it aligned perfectly with what my mentor saw in me that I couldn't see in myself.